We stopped. Yeah, we stopped talking. 3.
Sunday, NFL football. We have the Dallas Cowboys at the Baltimore Ravens, an interconference matchup. We're going to get a selection from VR, the Vegas runner. VR, I know you like this game. Tell me what you like about it.
I do, and I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to catch a lot of grief for this pick. I'm already prepared for it because nobody talks about how there's no value on the Dallas Cowboys as much as I do. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Even when this team has a winning record, you're not going to make money betting them because of the fact they're so overvalued in the marketplace. And even a good company, if there's no value there, you're not going to make any money buying it. But I think it's different right now. I think the perception is real different for Dallas Cowboys. I see a lot of value catching over a field goal at Baltimore simply because this number is based on nothing more than what the betting public remembers last. And what they remember is Dallas not losing to Chicago on Monday Night Football in front of a national audience, but getting absolutely embarrassed. Tony Romo not throwing 5 interceptions. And now you got to go up against a Baltimore team, which is 4-1, hasn't lost at home yet. And it kind of looks like a cheap price, but I do not think it's a cheap price. I like the way Dallas matches up against Baltimore. I'll get to that a little later, but that's my pick. I'm going to buck what I've been saying because sometimes you got to check your ego at the door and change your mind based on what the market tells you. And the market tells me Dallas is undervalued in this spot.
I think the public at this point in time has gotten off Dallas a little bit, certainly with that performance that they saw the last time they were on national TV, which was their last game. Chuck Edel, you're wearing your Jerry Garcia tie. You're making VR and I look awful bad. Go ahead, tell us your thoughts on this game.
Well, sometimes that you're going to get their best effort. Sometimes that's a little bit of an overused term, but let's face it, Dallas was embarrassed on national TV. Now you get them coming off the bye. So, I think you will get their best effort here. Meanwhile, Baltimore, what an ugly game we just saw against Kansas City. Flacco, he's always asking, he wants to be put in that status with the elite quarterbacks. Yeah, but then you see him,
9-6 won't do it.
Yeah, and you saw, missing, throwing a lot of bad passes in that Kansas City game.
And they didn't light up Cleveland either offensively. I mean, that's back-to-back weeks against Cleveland and Kansas City. And maybe you may have overlooked them, but regardless, you can't just turn it on and turn it off. I like what you said. Dallas having that extra week, I think they're going to be a lot crisper on offense. They just didn't look like they had it together on Monday Night Football against the Chicago Bears. And when you look at the Baltimore Ravens, we're so used to them being good defensively, right. We take it for granted that that's going to be the case every year. But they're not a good defensive team this year because of the fact, simply put, that they're using this no-huddle offense, and that's making that defense, which is older, stay on the field longer than they're used to. That's why they're 24th in total yards allowed, 22nd against the pass, 19th against the run, and this is the week that you're going to see DeMarco Murray finally rush for some yards for Dallas. I think that's going to be the difference maker. And why Baltimore's putting up points? Because they don't have the personnel to run that no-huddle offense. You need wide receivers that could create space, and these guys just can't get it done. I like Dallas defensively in this spot, and I like them offensively in this spot.
A couple things. You're right about that no-huddle. Week 1, everybody watched that offense. It was explosive against a weak Cincinnati defense, but I think people still have that game in their mind, and offensively they have not been as productive as they were in week 1. And the other thing, I thought a great point about the defense, this is not the Baltimore Ravens defense that we've all seen play before. I think Suggs is huge not up front there.
Great point. Kansas City really did run the ball down their throats last week. Now, I know they only put 6 points on the board, but if you look at the yardage, they gained a lot of yards on the ground. Turnovers killed them. Do you see Dallas being able to run the ball?
Exactly. Because Dallas right now is 29th in rushing yards, which is awful.
Yes.
But they're number 4 in passing yards. So they're able to throw the ball, but it hasn't turned into points. Reason being, they turn the ball over. And when you turn the ball over in the red zone, whether you march 60, 70 yards downfield, if it doesn't turn into points, it's no good. And that's what Dallas has been doing. That's why they're -7 in turnover so far this season. But I really think after that performance we saw with Tony Romo 2 weeks ago, we're going to see a crisper offense, like I said, and I don't see them turn the ball over to this Baltimore defense. They should have success running the ball finally, and I think that's enough.
All right, VR, we've talked about it. Let's make it official. Let's hear the selection.
For the first time in a long time, the Dallas Cowboys are undervalued. That's correct. America's team is undervalued in the betting market. I like them against Baltimore here on the road. 2 weeks to prepare, coming off an embarrassing Monday Night Football matchup against Chicago. That's what the bettors remember. They're going to line up on Baltimore. Don't be fooled. This is not the same Baltimore defense you're used to seeing. And we saw what this offense did against Cleveland and KC. Absolutely nothing. Dallas hangs around and possibly gets the win.
You heard it from VR, folks. He's, believe me, I've known this guy. He does not go with the Cowboys very often.
No,
He's going with them this week. So, folks, don't forget, you can get all our videos at pregame.tv. Coming up next, I'm going to give my selection on the Jets and the Indianapolis Colts.
Sanchez Tebow?
No.
Who's the QB?
Well, it's going to be Sanchez.